how do you see this, BC, but others can chime in. How do you see this vote shaping up? I know we need, I think we need 18 affirmative votes of the commission, 2/3 vote, whether people show up or not. So there's a bit of a challenge with that. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, certainly the staff report being positive yesterday was a huge accomplishment. Credit to the port, the city, everyone involved, BCDC staff, Larry, who's the executive director. I think they took a very thoughtful approach. A lot of data was provided, especially by the port. And, I think we're on track with BCDC. We're kind of off track before when you had the advisory committee, saying no. And so I think that puts us in a great position for the June 2nd hearing, where there'll be a lot of public comment, additional dialogue and debate, and then hopefully an affirmative vote on the 30th of June to remove Howard Terminal from the Seaport Plan. That will allow us to move forward with the project. And so that's a really big approval that's required.
Kristi or others, do you have any comment on the BCDC process?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been an extremely diligent, thorough process, and we certainly thank the staff for the amount of effort that they have put into thinking this through. Obviously, at the most fundamental level, they're coming from the standpoint of how do we ensure that we prevent unnecessary future bay fill. And we think we've answered that question in many, many different ways. There's a lot of ways to look at that, and not the least of which is that, in the modern era, bay fill is not what it used to be 30 or 40 years ago. The port is built primarily on bay fill. That would never happen again. It's not economically feasible. It's not environmentally sound. So we also just see this as not the direction that the industry would be going. It's extremely costly. And so we really think that looking at this data that they have, it's a wide, large amount of data, you can make a lot of different interpretations out of it. And we encourage people to look at it and to realize we can meet the future of the seaport. We can meet a reasonable forecast in all the various types of cargo across the bay that they have forecasted. And it's just not going to make sense for somebody to go off and create new bay fill because some 20 or 30 acres left on a remnant next to Jack London Square was preserved for the next 30 years idle.
Jim, if I can jump in, one of the things that changed between when that advisory committee voted and when staff issued its preliminary recommendation just this week is that, and I want to give credit to Kristi personally, because I understand that you personally played a big role in this, Kristi, but that the original cargo forecast had missed more than 100 acres of available terminal capacity specifically for roll-on, roll-off cargo. And that is the cargo type that was at issue in this analysis about whether or not the bay as a whole, as a whole region, has the capacity to accommodate growth in all the different cargo types that we're looking at. And so the original cargo forecast missed more than 100 acres of capacity at the port of Benicia. The Port of Oakland brought that to staff's attention, and that really impacted their analysis. And that's something that the Advisory Commission did not have.